Alright, so use this particular video to do the guided notes for the covalent compounds and their naming. Alright, and just note this down here. These are the elements that can undergo covalent bonding, right? And so you can see you've got the metalloids right there. So that basically means that it's only nonmetals and some metalloids. You cannot have metals participating in covalent bonding. It is just not something that they do. We'll cover the bonding for metals later on. Alright, so covalent bonds are formed between nonmetals. And nonmetals. And occasionally metalloids. And so you can see down here, your yellow ones are the nonmetals and your gray ones are the metalloids. From the what's in a name activity, you've already realized that we have these prefixes that we use to show number. Mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta, and octa. And you probably all also realize that they are always going to end in an IDE. Always. You drop the end of the element, put the IDE on. They are never going to start with the word mono. You will use that for the second element, but never for the first. And then there are diatomics, okay? So the diatomics are always in the form of 2. So H2, N2, O2, F2, Cl2, Br2, and I2. So that basically is this group of elements here and all of the halogens, all right? And so those are the diatomics. And so I remember it myself as hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, and then the halogens. Or for me personally, I think Hun and the halogens. Those are my diatomic elements, always in the form of molecules with 2 atoms. Alright, so you just read the element and the number and you just put them together. So xenon is Xe, bromide is Br, hexa is 6 of them, so the final formula is XeBr6. Chlorine is Cl, di is 2, oxide is O, hept is 7. Now notice that when you put it with oxygen, you have hepta plus oxide. Well, you never put 2 vowels together, so you drop the A and you end up with simply heptoxide, right? That's the reason it's written that way. So the formula would be Cl2O7. And I really should circle these so you can see which ones are the final formulas. Alright. That right there is a 2, so it's going to start with di. That's phosphorus, so it's going to be diphosphorus. That right there is 5, so it's going to be penta. This is oxygen, so it's going to be oxide. Now I can do this on an iPad. You can't do it without an iPad, but just to show you how it works. So we are never going to put the A and the O together. So we are going to get rid of the A and then we're going to pull the oxide in, and it's going to be diphosphorus pentoxide. Whoops, I didn't want that color. Diphosphorus pentoxide. And finally, we have chlorine. It is not going to be monochlorine because you never put a mono in the first part. That is a tri, and that is fluoride. Now, another thing that students tend to mess up a lot, that U goes before the O in fluoride. I don't know exactly why it's spelled that way, but it is spelled that way, and so we need to keep that in mind. And there you go. Those are the rules for naming and writing formulas for covalent compounds.